That I believe is a spider ability. Basically, you can shake hands with someone, you both get a mark appear, and if either of you breaks the deal, you suffer level 3 harm via a curse.
I would not have shaken that hand. No. Immediately trying to put me into some sort of blood oath, Andrus. Wow.
Yes.
The dealer is not to be trusted. Okay. I'll change what my answers were. Was I probably trust the dealer.
We broadly begin in the 6 towers of the city of Duskwall in the relatively mild month of Saran. The 12th hour of the day is coming to an end, and the blind hour is approaching. This fog that marks each transition from a dim day to a dark night and vice versa means many things to many people. For most citizens, it's an excuse to hunker down and relax twice a day, if you can spare it. For the gangs of the Shade, it's the perfect time to slip away after a brawl. For the bluecoats who patrol the streets, it means wrapping up their investigations and retreating to the nearest pub. Unfortunately for them, the bells of Bellwether Crematorium can be heard, and their spectral crows are circling overhead. Some stupid souls lost their life, and if they don't have a suspect locked up before the spirit wardens arrive, they'll be busy all night. More fortunately, on the turf of the much more dangerous gangs is a smaller gang, or rather a simple cult, worshipping a forgotten god, the Orb, and content to avoid drawing attention to themselves, at least until they became our protagonists for the evening. We will now more specifically begin in an interrogation room. Okay, so I'm going to start, basically in this game, sort of major events are represented by clocks, which are just circles with sort of like pizza slices in them. So I'm starting 2 clocks now. The first clock is called An Inspector Arrives, and there's 4 parts to it. The second clock is all blue shirts are bar stools, and it also has 4 parts to it, and they'll start filling in as the scene goes on. So, the 3 of you have been dragged off the streets. You're not sure why, and you're in an interrogation room at the nearest bluecoats station. In there with you are 2 bluecoats. One is a Scotlander woman who's who's smirking slightly and stood back. The second is a Korosky man. That is just the general majority group of the city. And Scotlanders are basically sort of like more like sort of Celtic people who were recently conquered, but they make up the second largest group in the city. Yeah, so the man has looks very gruff, and he noticeably on his left hand several fingers are missing and seem to be some sort of Sparkcraft prosthetic, and he's glaring at you, the 3 of you, while his colleague seems a little more interested in staying back and seeing what happens.
Are we tied up?
Not yet, but since you're in the middle of a station, they probably actually want you to try something. After all, they're looking for a suspect to arrest, and they don't really care who it is.
All right, I'm gonna grin at the sort of, I suppose, human knuckle that is in front of me, and I'm gonna smile and say, "Aren't you gonna offer your date a drink, darling?" Oh, come now. There's no need to be coy. What's going on tonight? We're gonna make some magic?
Hey, listen, Sunshine. You're in a whole heap of trouble, so don't make this any harder on yourself.
Oh.
What's your name?
I've heard lines like that before. It always ends the same way. One of us is knee-deep in personal lubricant and the other one's having a very good time indeed.
Your name?
Oh, my name. Oh, that's not important. We'll keep the mystery, darling. Keep the mystery, darling. Keep it alive. No, I'm going like 1970s sleaze. That's not quite what I had in my head, but we'll go with it. I'm 50% of the way to Austin Powers.
So he turned irritated. Okay, I'm going to fill in one. I'm going to fill in one slice on all blue shirts. Yeah. I'm going to fill in one slice on the blue shirts clock. So that's 1 out of 4, and one on the inspector shows up. So he turns to his colleague and says, "Right, I just heard the inspector's on his way. If we can't get someone to talk, we're going to be here all night."
I mean, we can talk as long as you want.
Quite you.
You want
We
us to
said
talk?
for someone to talk, so...
Alright.
That is pretty counterreactive, yeah.
Well, it occurs to you he might not be that bright. Right, listen, sunshine. Right, what do you say your name is?
Who, me or him? Because I didn't say.
That's Daphios. He's addressing. Wait. Yeah. Daphios' character he's addressing.
Oh, well... Lavish, if you must know, but... What else do you need it for?
Alright. Just for the paperwork. So, what are you doing around here? And more
Living.
importantly, why'd you do it?
Just looking for
Why
a
do you
party.
live around here? That's a pretty open-ended question.
You're gonna have to be more specific, darling. We've done a lot of things.
Yeah, well, you know what you did, so just talk.
Are we talking about that time that I took a little bit too much of the poppy and woke up in bed with a mule? Are we talking about the time I got really, really drunk and theatre was, I'm not gonna lie, in about 5 minutes and I wasn't even in costume? Or are we talking about the other time when I went absolutely wild with my old pal Nyrix? I don't know if you've heard of her. She's wonderful. In fact, you very much look like you could do with visiting Nyrix. You know, she does wonders. And well, let's say we painted the town a little red. You know, got a little overboard and. Well, I probably shouldn't talk, but certain politicians were involved. Let's put it that way. Certain members of the nobility.
Okay, that's going to be 2 out of 4 of the slices on the blue shirt's clock, and another one on the inspector.
I'm doing my best.
Just because you
Right.
always end up in an ass of a situation doesn't mean that's the one he's referring to.
I didn't know about the mule before. That's interesting.
Okay, so the other blue coat turns to Andres' character and says, "Okay, so what's your name then?"
I'm known as the dealer.
Do you have a real name?
Yes, Archelos and Karen. I'm from the Dickerus in Karen's.
One day, darling, we're gonna have to talk to you about keeping things secret.
Ah, my family is... I have no shame of my family. They're good people.
So she turns to her colleague and says, "See? Sometimes you just need to talk a bit." Well then. And that's actually got him irritated, so now you're at 3 of 4 slices for both clocks. Now, let's see which one you can fill first. So you have the 2 officers, none of you are tied up. They're both stood near the door. What do you want to do?
I do extend my hand with no harm to you and me. when I say my name.
Okay. Which one of them are you extending your hand to?
Whoever asked my name.
Oh, that'll be the yeah. No, thank you. I'd like to keep my hands to myself.
Very well.
I'm always
And-
around for that if you'd like to continue.
You're around for what? Keeping your hands to yourself? That's fair enough.
Now look here. We already know we've got witnesses. We know you did it. So if one of the first of you to talk gets a deal, the rest of you, you're going away for a long time.
Exactly what did we do again?
You know.
You will find that I know very little.
You making fun of me?
No.
Okay, I'm going to... He's clearly getting angry, so do you want to do anything to try and calm him down?
Yeah. Can I go up to him and just sort of pat him down, just like, hey. Come on, we're all friends here. Come on, darling. Let's all calm down. Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. And I'd just like to, massage him back to being on our side. Not literally massage him, although maybe if it involves literally massaging the human knuckle, I will. But just whatever's required, really, just to soothe things over a bit. Just to get him a bit back on our level.
And what skill would you like to use for that?
Do you reckon that would be consort or sway?
Okay, consort or sway.
It's the same
Let me
number
just
for me
remind
either way, but
Consort is being friendly, swaying is actually trying to make someone, bring someone to your cause.
I'm guessing consort then, because I'm just being friendly. Like, I'm not trying to recruit him to the Order of the Orb. I'm just trying to, chill him out a little.
So we are having a ball of time.
So, do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain? And does anyone want to assist?
Well, that would depend on the nature of the bargain, I suppose.
If
Okay,
it's
so
consorting, I am very good at very happy to assist.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this?
okay, so
Sorry.
well, basically, if you want to push yourself, you take 2 stress and you get an extra die, and that just represents pushing yourself. Devil's bargain, you can do instead of pushing yourself, and that means you get the extra die for free. But I give you a complication up front you have to accept either way. And if someone wants to assist, that's basically pushing yourself on someone else's behalf, which only costs you 1 stress.
Oh, I thought I was told the bargain and then I could refuse it if I didn't want the offer.
Yeah, basically, if you want the bargain, I'll offer it to you, and then you can refuse it or not. So if you want a devil's bargain, basically you get the extra die, but regardless of the outcome, the other officer decides she wants is going to start shaking you down for a bribe.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that bargain.
Okay, roll me 3d6
3d6. Okay.
and tell me the highest result.
I did assist as well.
That is. Oh, did you assist? Do I roll extra?
No, I think you can't. You can only put. I think.
I mean, that's my action. No?
Okay, how are you assisting?
A couple of honeyed words here and there.
Okay, I'll take that. Roll me 4d6 then.
Okay. Oh, that's 2 6s.
Oh, that's a crit.
Hey, first crit of the night. I'll take that.
First roll, first crit. Okay. Okay, so he seems receptive and calms down a bit. So the blue shirt's clock is now down to 1 slice.
I give a really good massage.
And he looks at you and said, "Okay, maybe you're not too bad, but nevertheless, I need to hear something from one of you." And the other officer said, if some of you have some coin, maybe we'd have a bit more patience.
I do have some fine whiskey, if you would prefer that.
She regards you for a second and starts and begins. Well,
I'm always happy
And-
to share a drink with a new friend.
but then at that point, that's probably about enough time for the inspector arrives.
Oh, good, because I was about to
Dr.
offer
Phil?
Coke, so comparatively, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, yeah, you got lucky there. Basically, if the other clock filled before the inspector arrived, you'd guess a bit of a beating. Yeah, so suddenly the door swings open, and a hooded figure walks in. You can't really discern much of their features, but they have very clear glasses visible under their hood. And you can probably tell, and you can just about tell, let me check my notes, that they're of a Sabotage descent. So, hello. How's everyone doing this evening? Sorry it took me so long to get here. I was chatting with the spirit wardens. Anyway, good news. We have a suspect and they've made a full confession.
Isn't that nice?
Oh, that's great to hear.
Well, it's me. I'm off to the pub. So, both the officers turn to leave. The woman officer stops and looks at the dealer for a second, but decides to follow her colleague. Well then, sorry about the inconvenience there. The three of you are free to go.
No harm, no foul, darling. No harm, no foul. But you know what? You look me up later if you want another massage, if you know what I'm saying.
Right, I don't even want to know. Anyway, I'm
He's very deft with his hands. And words.
So, you're all free to go. Do you just want to leave the station?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, probably best idea.
Yeah, okay. So as you're escorted out, you see the inspector hurriedly just outside the door, hurriedly chatting with another cloaked figure. Do you want to take a close look or keep moving on? Back to your lair.
I am the curious sort.
Okay, so how do you approach?
Well, I don't know. I presume I haven't got any of my any loadout available this one, as I started off imprisoned.
Yeah, you're not on a heist yet, so you haven't taken any gear with you.
Yeah.
Also, would not have had my bottle of whiskey. That's fine.
Well, this hasn't actually the caper proper, so it's more like something I need to double check those rules, but I don't think there's that much. This is basically the
No, that's fine. I was just double checking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you can access your basically anything in italics you can get for free anyway, so you can assume you'd have it on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to try and stick around a corner and see if I can just listen in, as I'm pretty sure I probably can't get very close without them immediately recognizing me.
Okay, should we call that a prowl roll?
Sounds like
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, I should be asking you what you want. Sorry about that.
It's fine. I doubt I could use finesse, so I'm gonna prowl. I think I'm gonna attempt to prowl.
Okay, 0 dots in that. So basically, you'll have to, unless you want to push yourself or accept a devil's bargain, you'll have to roll 2 die and take the worst result.
Okay. What is your... Well, do you have a devil's bargain for me? I suppose is my first question.
Okay, devil's bargain. You'll hit the inspector will notice you and remember your face, regardless of what else happens.
I'll take that bargain.
Okay, roll me 1d6 then.
Alright. Add to 2.
Okay, You can't make anything out. Not only that, but as you stick your head round, the person the inspector's speaking to just sort of notices you out of the corner of their eye, nods to the inspector, and they turn around and both stare at you. Yeah, the inspector will remember that.
Blow a kiss. It's a time to blow a kiss.
Yes, I will actually. I'll just blow a quick kiss and dip round the corner again. Darlings.
Okay.
See you soon. And I'll twirl my cane as I walk out.
Okay, so you're heading back to your lair now, or do you want to do something else?
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I guess.
Who else would like
Okay.
to fail on a dice roll?
I mean, I have a point in prowl.
Okay.
I should have commanded
But
you to go
it's
do
too late
it, shouldn't I?
Okay.
I mean, you're
do you
the spy.
want to give it a try?
Yeah. Can I say that I was just still behind the corner when I like that followed Alias up there, and just when Alias strode away, I just tried to listen in myself.
Okay. Let's assume you're trying this just after Alias failed, so roll me in. It's just one die you've got, isn't it?
Do you have a bargain offer?
Bargain offer. Why are you always taking... Okay.
Keith's told us
Devil's
in the chat
Bar-
to always take the bargain, that's why.
Oh no. Okay, Devil's Bargain. Oh, God. You know, yeah, they'll remember your face as well.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Okay,
26.
roll me two.
And that's... I guess the highest one counts, right? How does it
Yeah,
work?
the highest.
So that's a 3. So I'll also be like, hello.
Yeah, I'm afraid of 3 fails.
Move my shades up to the top of my nose and wink my orange eyes at them. And
Just don't keep popping out like it's Scooby-Doo or something.
Yeah, as you both walk off, you can hear them say, oh, God, are you sure about these people?
You know, for you two being so well at conversation, you aren't very subtle.
Yep, the social experts of the crew, people.
I am wearing a big, sort of mouldy old fur coat, which is probably not helping for this matter at the moment.
Okay, so, okay, so Lavish, do you want to do anything?
Rather stay out of it.
Okay. You all say, okay, so you all decide to return to your lair. As you walk through the streets, you can swear you hear footsteps. No wait.
As we walk, I will just go at the Alias like, that inspector was pretty cute, wasn't he?
Not really my type. Now that big walking knucklehead.
Okay. Do you keep going as normal, or do you want to take some sort of precaution?
Yeah, what was the threat again?
Footsteps.
Thinking about the inspector.
You hear footsteps and notice some shadows flash. Someone is clearly following you.
I suppose we should take a detour. A small one. And
Okay.
not directly to the lair.
Okay, so you're trying to misdirect whoever's following you. What skill do you want to use for that?
I think our spy would be very good at doing a certain finesse for it.
Yes, I'll do that. Great idea. I will use my
Okay.
finesse to,
Confused.
I
Okay,
guess,
so you're
like card tricks. What we do?
What?
Confuse them with my sleight of hand. I will I will use my guile and finesse to make it look as if I'm going one way, but then very quickly darting the other way in the shadows and try and...
Okay. You doing
Dupe
this?
them.
Actually, that would be more prowl, I think, I'm afraid.
Damn. Well, it was worth a go.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you use finesse, but it might not be as effective as prowl would. Is that okay with you?
It'll be much more effective than prowl would for me.
Okay, fine.
Would you
Well,
count
well,
this
that
as
could be-
covert misdirection?
Yeah. You know what? I'll allow it.
Yay! Plus
Wait.
1 dice.
Does it actually say covert misdirection for the in the description of finesse or something?
No,
No,
for
it's
cloak and
dagger.
dagger on my special abilities.
All right, cloak and dagger. When you use a disguise or the covert misdirection,
To confuse or
to be
deflect
fair,
suspicion.
I think you have to be in disguise for that.
It says disguise or other form of covert misdirection.
That's a good point. Hang on. Does it say anything else in the? See, I've read this through once, cover to cover, but everything's just drained out.
I think they picked vague words on purpose,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
I think you need to be in disguise. You know what? Yeah, I'll allow it. This is misdirection, and you're leading this as a group action since obviously the entire group's being followed.
Apparently. Apparently I'm leading this as a group effort. I'm half tempted to leave them behind. But, yeah, okay.
Right. So group actions. Basically, everyone needs to roll for a group action. Let me just. God's sake, where's the?
So are we rolling finesse or prowl? We know Nick is rolling finesse. Do we have to roll the same thing?
I can't actually find the rules for group actions because, of course, I can't. Right. I think it's basically. You know what? This is eating up a lot of time. I'll just let Nick take a straight finesse roll. So that's 3d6, please.
Okay, let's go. 5 is the highest.
Okay, that's a success with a complication.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Sorry, the
Basically,
rest of you, I'm out.
only a 6 is an outright success. Complications just make it fun.
Oh, yes.
So, you twist your way through the alleyways, leaving the rest of the group behind. It seems whoever's following you decides to follow you instead. And
Oh.
you lead them on a bit of a chase. Unfortunately, as you're wandering alone with a very expensive-looking coat,
It is.
you walk into a group of 3 toughs. They meet your eyes, and there's a stony silence. What do you do?
Pocket sand. And by pocket sand, I mean trance powder. Which is in italics, so I do have it on me.
Okay, so you throw the trance powder in their face.
I have no idea what that does. I can't actually find what that does.
Poppy sand.
Poppy sand, yeah. I feel like that'd be my immediate instinct, even if it doesn't work, is to just try that regardless. Oh, it's hypnosis powder apparently, according to Keith in the chat.
All right. God, where's the? I really should have put bookmarks in the rule book because I can't remember where everything is anymore. Okay, let's just say that dazes them for a moment, and you're able to run away.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
But as you make your way back to the rest of the group and head back, you see a mysterious figure standing outside the entrance to your hideout.
That's not ideal.
Hmm.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Well enough. Do I recognize the person?
They're wearing a hood, but there's nothing about them you can immediately recognise. Do you want to try and work out who they are?
I would like to do that, yes. Is that study
Okay.
roll?
Yeah, I'd say that's study.
Excellent. Do you have
How
any
many-
bargain to offer me?
Again with the bargains.
He is the dealer.
It's always a flea
Okay.
market when we have him around.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, if you want to study the figure, you can have an extra dice in exchange for the figure will start to get quite irritated with you for staring.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I'll take that. So that's 3d6.
Yep.
And that's a 4.
Okay, that's a partial success. So you take a good look at the figure. You can't really discern their features, but beneath the cloak, you notice there is signs of a blue coat uniform.
Ah.
So the figure stares at you. Hey, didn't your mum tell you it's rude to stare?
No, I was born and raised as nobility. Isn't that... Staring is pretty natural where I come from. Because everyone has their own traits. Very interesting. Very transfixing.
With those eyes, I'm surprised you don't want to stare at anyone.
Oh, but you should see my homeland. Everyone has something special.
Indeed. Well, in any case, I have some unfortunate news for you. Now that you've been arrested, it's I think you'll find the rest of the gangs in the area might see your little club, as it were, as competition.
Oh, so they should, darling.
So what?
Ah, well, same reason the constables decided to take you in. You're you're not much of a threat. Now, the thing is, maybe if you were to do something that would improve your reputation a little, you might feel a bit safer.
Would you like us to consecrate your station?
What do you mean, my station?
I can see your uniform.
Oh, this. And he pulls back his cloak. This isn't real. And he literally just grabs the badge, pulls it, and it tears straight off.
Oh, very well.
You must
my
tell
name
me
isn't
who's selling your costumes, because, darling, that's fantastic.
Oh,
Tearaway
it was,
as well.
it was real enough once. It's just not in very good order. And you know, there's actually a gang named the Grey Cloaks, who are formed from disgraced former Blue Coats. Disgrace being a relative term, of course. That's besides the point, anyway. Listen. I know someone who's interested in a very specific item. And you steal it, and if you can steal this for them, they're willing to pay you some coin. And the rest of the gangs might take you a bit more seriously and not trouble you so much. What do you
think
say?
it's for thieves?
Done. Where we go?
Oh, thieves? There's no one in this city who's not a thief. The real question is, are you going to be successful thieves or dead thieves?
Well, what does it matter to you? As long as you get it done.
True, I could always make the offer to someone else.
Darling, you can't just fuck us like this without any foreplay. Now, come on. What are the terms? We've got to get a parlay going. You know, you've got to treat me right before you take me to bed and destroy me. Now, come on, darling.
Oh, I know you like surprises, so let's just get at it then.
Fine. Very well.
You.
Are any of you familiar with Lady Clave?
I would be. but I the player am not, but I'm sure I the character probably am. Yeah.
Yeah. Alias is aware that Lady Clave is a very prominent Leviathan hunter.
I'd definitely be aware then. Yeah.
Known for. Because I forgot to write it in my notes. Knowing for being highly ambitious and very cruel.
Oh yes, Daddy spoke of her all the time. Never really liked her, but then I never really liked Daddy, so...
Okay. Now, he noticed she reacts and assumes you probably know her by reputation. Now, as you might know, the Leviathan hunting season begins soon. And since their warehouses are empty, they decided she's holding a bit of a banquet in one of them, in the docks. The centerpiece of this banquet, well, are you familiar with... And... somehow I've lost half my notes. Bear with me a sec.
That always happens, don't worry.
And that, Brioche, is why when I DM'd for you, I had no notes, no preparation.
Yes. Are you familiar with radiant energy?
Yes. At least I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Lavish, the Hound. How would you know about
We are a cult of the sun.
Oh yes.
We don't
Yes.
know about the radiant.
I suppose, given who you worship, you might know a bit about radiant energy. The infusion of living things with plasm, causing them to give a healthy glow, almost like sunlight.
Sunlight, you
Deep
said,
under-
darling.
Yes. It's simple, really. Under the estate of Lady Clave, there is a large aquarium, and within that, and in the a large glass aquarium with a biodome in the middle, and in that she has grown a large crop of her own wheat. Don't know if you've heard of that, but it was before the sun disappeared. It was the staple food of many. Nowadays, it's something of a luxury.
It's rather nice, but to grow your own, that's quite an undertaking.
And she's of course sent it. Of course, she's sent this to Zunslow, where the farmers have dutifully ground it for her, and mixed it into dough. And it is now, well, as we speak, it has been delivered from Dunslow to the docks in the form of a massive centerpiece, a bread sculpture. So, what I'm proposing is quite simple.
Go and steal a loaf of bread.
Yes, you steal this bread sculpture, and you'll be rewarded handsomely.
What are you even going to do with it?
Well, let's just say quite a few factions are simply quite happy to upset the Leviathan hunters for the sake of it. And leave it at that.
I don't think we are not in that list. So,
Oh, I'm perfectly
terms,
happy to upset
we
the
deliver the
Leviathan
bread,
hunters.
and what do you reward us with?
He pulls out a large bag and shakes it. It clearly clanks.
Coin. Very well. We have a bargain. I extend my
Right.
hand.
You didn't even do any bargaining.
Yeah.
He accepts your handshake. Yes. You deliver the bread,
Excellent.
we deliver the coin. It's quite simple, really.
Dough
show
for
the
dough.
mark. You can move it around like this, and I just like the mark that's appeared on my hand. I just shift it onto my sleeve, under my sleeve, rolling up my sleeve a little bit, showing like dozen marks just on my wrist, and being like.
As you do this, the mark appears on his hand, and he recoils in shock. I'm
As
still
long as we both hold up our terms, everything will be fine.
Okay, he's clearly a bit upset by this, so what do you want to roll to... Do you want to roll to do something to try and calm him down, or are you just going to take that?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, you know... I can roll a little consult, like, just to ensure that this contact understands that nothing bad will happen to him
I would
as
like
long
to
as
help.
he upholds his end of the bargain.
Okay, so do you want to push yourself?
I might as well.
Okay, so that's going to be 2 stress. That okay with you?
Yeah.
And
Okay,
I'll
give me
help as well
3d6.
to add on to that.
Ooh.
Okay, I can.
So that's that's a 5. No 6s for me.
okay. So that's 1 stress for Nick.
1 stress for
2
me.
stress for 2 stress for Andres. And that's a 5, so that's a partial success. So he stares at you for a second. Okay, fine then. If this goes sour, there are no words
it
for
will
how
be
much
me.
trouble you're in.
It will be I who suffers the consequences.
Yes, you and your friends don't cross me.
Oh, are you
Okay.
talking us now? Very well. Let's see how that goes.
Well, you literally did bind him to a PAX, so he's going to be a bit
yes, to
upset.
pay us upon the delivery of the goods that we agreed to.
Yeah, he was going to do that anyway.
Yeah, like literally, I didn't force. Like I didn't change anything other than to ensure that he understands the deal.
Okay, well, let's get this heist rolling then.
We should really call you the mediocre dealer, not the dealer, because you just call them bargains and you never come out winning.
He wasn't a trader. He just worked in a casino.
Well, that makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
then.
Like 100%, the majority of the deals the dealer has made have been peace offers. Just non-aggression pacts.
So, are we stealing a giant loaf of brioche?
Yes.
No comments.
We are stealing a statue of brioche, made of brioche.
You're stealing a giant piece of bread in the shape of a Leviathan tentacle.
Oh, well, that's probably slightly shaped like a brioche.
That's a
or the
that's a
brioche
new material to make a tentacle out of.
I'm only
usually
going
they
to
use
be
plastic or
available for
silicone.
50% of the planning, as the other 50% will be spent powdering my nose. Just getting everything ready. I've got to look perfect. There's a social function. I've not been to a noble social function in so long. Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Powdering your
alright.
nose, as you mentioned Coke earlier.
Okay, we're now in the planning and engagement section, so how are you going to do this? Do you want to use assault, deception, stealth, the occult, social, or transport to steal this loaf of bread?
I think social would be pretty good.
Okay, so negotiate, bargain, or persuade.
I feel like we can talk our way through. I think that'll be fine. It's gone perfectly fine
Okay.
so far.
Okay, so now you need to provide me with a detail. What's the social connection that's going to give you an in here?
Well, we've got 2 members of the nobility. I was a Leviathan hunter, or a Leviathan hunter's son. I could
Okay,
potentially hope they
Do you
don't
have-
know that I've been kicked out by daddy.
okay. Well, you probably know how to walk the walk and talk the talk. Do any of you know a contact that might help you get in? Perhaps, do you have a way of forging an invite?
I'm going to bring a fine cover identity as Alias's daddy.
No, they'll know him. They literally worked with him. I have
then I won't
subterfuge
do that.
supplies and documents, so I could probably bring something. Or that's available as equipment, so I could probably take something like that, if need be.
Okay, so let's assume you okay, let's assume that Alias and Archelos can both pretend they have invites. Lavish, how do you intend to get in the same way, or do you want to try a different approach?
You know what? I want to see if I can hunt someone else down and steal their invite.
Okay.
Nice. Getting
You
hit.
could have probably had a +1.
Okay, so what your plan is basically to find someone who has an invite and accost them?
Yeah, borrow.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I like this. Okay. Tell you what, roll me a... Well, what do you want to use to do that?
I think hunt.
Okay. Do you want to push yourself or accept a devil's bargain?
So how does that work if I have 2 points in it?
2 points, you roll 2 dice by default. If you push yourself or accept a devil's bargain, it'll be free. If you push
Yeah, I'll
yourself,
push
it'll...
myself.
Okay, so that take on 2 stress and roll me 3d6 then to see how well it goes.
So highest is a 4.
Okay, 4, that's a partial success. Okay, so you managed to track down... Okay, we're assuming this is the night of the yeah, this is the day of the party. You track someone down who won't be too missed and manage to steal their documents. But in the process, you well, they get a good look at your face. So while they won't be bothering you tonight, the gang is going to take, let's call it +1 heat. So that basically means you'll be the bad type of... That's a bit of the bad type of notorious.
Fair. Oh no, we're in heat.
Oh no.
Why did I agree
It's
to this?
getting hot in here. Come on.
Please keep your clothes on.
At some point, I can't guarantee that as Alias. I really can't.
Indeed.
By the end of this.
Okay. Okay, so, yeah, Alias and Archelos are sneaking in under the... Okay, so you're all pretending to be nobles and sneaking with invites.
That sounds great.
Alrighty. You going to go on the night of the party and attempt to steal it then, or do you want to show up sooner?
Night at the party's probably the best time if we've got invites.
Okay.
Lots of people around there.
Okay, yep, there'll be a lot more people about. Of course, this is social infiltration, so that's the idea. Okay, so let's do the engagement roll then, and sort of decide what sort of position you start off the operation in.
I guess we're all taking light loadouts for this, if it's social.
Oh yeah, so choose your loadouts. So a light loadout means you'll have 3 slots, notwithstanding anything you can take out for free.
I'll go light.
So a light loadout means you're not obviously up to anything. A normal loadout means you're clearly up to some sort of criminal activity, and a heavy loadout means you look like you're like a commander or an operation or something.
Oh yeah, we got crew rigging, haven't we? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Thank
your
you,
crew.
Summer.
Yes, your crew rigging works for... What does called rigging
2
do
free
again?
load of documents or implements.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you can use your crew rigging for whatever you want as well.
What counts as implements?
So basically, we get documents and arcane, and any implements we want.
I think implements are just cold stuff. So
okay.
So arcane implements.
Well, may as well just use those 2 then.
okay.
Still?
So you all going light?
I'm
I mean, just as a hint, Lavish could try and pass as a bodyguard.
Yes.
Go a bit heavier. Okay.
That
So
would-
do you still
yeah.
want to go light, or do you want to
I'll
go
go
a bit
normal.
heavier? Okay. So Lavish is going light. Alias and Archelos are going. Wait. Lavish is going
Other way
normal.
around.
Alias and Archelos are going light. Okay. Next is the engagement roll. Okay, so would you say your plan's particularly daring or a bit overcomplicated?
It's quite simple at the moment because we're sort of just adapting as we go on. But
Yep.
it's probably more on the daring end as we don't know what we're going to hit, I guess.
Okay. Dunno. Yep. Okay, I'll give you that daring. I'll give you the +1. Okay, so that's 2 so far. Does your detail expose any vulnerabilities? Okay, so your details your way in. You're not really taking advantage of any particular vulnerabilities, so nope, they're not taking any particular defenses or special preparations because it's just a party. Do any of your friends or contacts have anything to help you with? Do you have any friends or contacts who are helping you, or any enemies or rivals who are going to interfere?
Unless someone's
I
hired my
do-
prostitute friend, I doubt it.
I do know an information broker who could probably help us
Okay, do you want to
get
try
those
and
PAs in.
get your information broker to help?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay. So your information broker's name's Salia.
Yes.
Okay, so cut to a smoky room. You're speaking with Salia.
Hey, Sarah. I'm
Describe.
going to a party.
Okay, describes. Could you just describe Salia for me?
Oh, I haven't thought of that. I'll be honest.
Okay. Okay, hang on. I'll just roll a random person then. If you just remember that. Okay, so Salia is a woman who is old, and her goals are revenge.
Ooh. Now that's
Okay.
a question. Whom are they avenging?
Hey, Arcellos. What can I help you with?
Good morning. I'm looking for a particular way into a party hosted by Lady... Was it Clave? Blade?
Clave.
Clave.
Oh, Lady Clave. Ah, yes, I heard she's holding a bit of a do at the docks. Well,
Indeed.
I don't know so much. I hear there's going to be quite the centerpiece. A large sculpture made of bread grown from wheat in her own private gardens.
Solarium.
Yes, he seems to know more about this than me. What sort of information are you exactly looking for?
I was wondering if you would know if there was going to be some sort of food or drink that everyone would be partaking in.
Well, apart from the bread centerpiece, assuming they don't want to keep it, I do believe the kitchens are located in a building not too far away. That'll probably be where the bread itself is baked earlier in the night, before it's brought in.
Interesting.
Now, I could tell you a little more, but I don't give out information for free, Sonny.
Sonny, we're about the same age, are we not?
Maybe if you acted it.
Oh!
There's no time to act your age when you have business to do.
Oh, very well. Well, are you going to pay me or not?
I assume I have some coin starting off, or...
Basically, coin's abstract, so you could offer her, like, it's assumed you have a small amount of money on you at any given time, just not a super large amount. So you could offer to pay her, maybe try and, or if you want to, you can try and roll to get a bit more information out of her.
I would like to offer a bit of whiskey and some coin and consult over these details.
Okay. Right. Consorting.
Close friends.
Hang on, just let me double check.
Well, as old as I have been in Actors.
You know what? Roll me. Yeah, roll me a. Just roll me a consort. Do you want to push yourself?
Are you offering a bargain?
Yeah. If you want to bargain, I can offer one. But you might not like the result. Okay. You can have an extra die, but she'll be a bit irritated, and regardless of the outcome, she won't speak to you on it for at least the next heist.
No. In that case, I will not take the bargain. I'll just roll 2d6.
Okay.
Snake eyes, motherfucker.
Wait, you got 2 1s?
Yes.
Okay, I'm afraid that's a critical fail.
Oh no. What does 3 ones mean?
2 1s or 2 6s are crits, and there's nothing above that. So, yeah. Look, you're irritating me today. I've given. You can have what I just said for free, but don't speak to me again. And yeah, I'm afraid she's not speaking to you for the next heist either.
Okay. So even if I had taken the bargain,
Well, yeah,
the result
basically you
was
got
the
the
same.
yeah critical fail. That's learn you the complication from Devil's bargain anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that's right, Summer. Don't speak to me or my son ever again.
do I know her son?
I don't know. Do you?
I might.
Yeah.
Very well.
So yeah, we're going to assume you don't have any extra information there. So yep, you've got your operation is particularly bold or daring. So that's 2 die. No particular vulnerability. None of your friends or contacts are helping. I don't think any of your enemies are sabotaging. It's quite a high tier target, but you're just interrupting you're just stealing a centerpiece from a dinner, so it's not like you're robbing a bank or anything, so we'll call that neutral. So for the engagement roll, I'm going to give you 2d6. Do you want me to roll that for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the engagement. Yeah, the engagement roll is just going to determine how good a position you start off in. Oh, so you got a 5 there, which is a decent position.
Okay.
Okay, so your plan of attack again is to show up to the party on time.
Yes, if possible, I would like to go and visit the kitchen beforehand.
Okay, so you want to visit the kitchen.
Yes.
Right, so you start off in a risky position. So, your invites are accepted, and you enter the party well enough. Archelos tries to sneak off to the kitchen, but on the way, he runs into a cook. Hey mate, party's that way.
You told
you-
me that
what are you doing
the
here?
kitchen was in a different building.
Yeah, so you've snuck out of the party into the kitchen, and obviously
Oh, so
addressed
not
the
that
parties.
far away. Oh, I was just looking for the bathrooms. Could you point me the way?
Okay, so how are you gonna convince them of this?
Oh, in a friendly tone, of course. Like,
Okay.
I treat stuff well.
Okay, what do you want to roll for that?
Console.
Okay, roll me 2d6 then. Or do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
Nah, it's a 5.
Okay. Okay, well, there's a bathroom just around the corner there, but you shouldn't have too much trouble finding them in the main hall.
Oh, well, yes, but it's really crowded, and I think there were people already lining up. Thought maybe I could find a more quiet place around here.
Okay, very good, sir. And obviously he doesn't want to cause trouble with a noble, so he moves on. But I'm now going to start a 6-part clock called "They realise you're not supposed to be there," and that's got 1 slice filled in. So 5 more slices, and the alarm's going to be raised.
All right.
Okay, so you can. So yep. The dealer continues into the kitchen. Meanwhile, what's a Lavish and Alias up to at the party?
I wouldn't mind seeing the dining room, where presumably the massive bread construct is eventually going to appear at, just to see, sort of, get a case of the joint, basically, get an idea of what we might be up against.
Okay, so you look around the ballroom. Obviously, it's a large warehouse. Near the back, there are several barrel. Well, there's still a very large amount of barrels, but obviously this is because it's only just reached hunting season, and Leviathan hunters hunt all year round. But the hunting season is where 80% of all of their blood is gathered. So obviously the warehouses are mostly empty, but there's still some barrels of plasm. That is electroplasm.
Okay.
Lined up.
That could be useful.
Yeah. And obviously this is the substance that it's sort of like it's sort of like a cross between oil and electricity.
That could be very useful.
Oh, it's also the stuff ghosts are made of, and well, Leviathans are basically demons, and their blood is literally so full of life. It is literally alive on its own, so it has to be refined on its own into a fuel.
Would I know any way to cause some sort of explosion with it or something like that? I'm not trying to now, to be clear, but would I know for future reference?
You literally know what it is, so you know. It's basically like petrol. It's a light burn.
Yeah, okay.
Just
so
throw a light on it.
I just need to. Yeah. Okay. All right. That sounds good.
But obviously, that area is cordoned off from the guests, and there's huge chandeliers being hung from the top of the warehouse. Every surface that looks a bit rough has tapestries over it. The guests are all milling about. There's a large table covered with delicacies. Most of it's there's obviously quite a few hors d'oeuvres made from common eel and mushroom, but there's also fresh fruit, something which obviously you're familiar with, but Lavish has probably never seen her in her life. And of course, there's a massive space on the table where the centerpiece is to be placed.
Okay,
and from the side,
I wouldn't mind reaching out and grabbing a nice piece of fruit and tossing it to Lavish and say, "Take a bite of that, darling. It is fantastic. Oh, it's so wonderful. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to just love it."
Okay, how do you react to
Last time I
this?
said that, I was tripping out for 2 days. Sure.
But it was a good 2 days, wasn't it, darling?
I mean, I don't really remember, but whatever you say. I'll eat it.
Okay, you eat the fruit. I mean, it's delicious.
Nice. See, I don't steer you wrong. Apart from the times I've steered you wrong, darling, everything is fine.
So
Okay.
you say, so you say.
Do you want to do anything else?
Can I see the woman of the hour here?
Okay. Roll me. Well, what do you want to use to do this? Just keep remembering it's the player who
Yeah,
decides.
I will. I'm going to say study because I have nothing I can read. I can't command or well, actually, no. I'm going to. Are there any waiters or anything nearby?
Yep, there's waiters all over the place handing out fancy mushroom wine with glasses of fancy mushroom wine, sparkling mushroom wine all over the place.
Okay, I'm going to snap my fingers like that and go, boy, garçon. Where is the lady of the? I almost said the lady of the house. Where is the lady of the hour? I must go and extend my congratulations on such a beautiful soiree.
Oh, well, I don't know where she is at the moment, but I'm not entirely sure she's showing up in person tonight, sir.
I'll wave my hand. I don't want excuses. Go and find her, or go and find out where she is. Go on. Or whoever's in charge. Go. Get me your manager.
So what do you want? Okay, so what do you want to roll for that?
Command, preferably, as I feel like I'm being quite commanding there.
Okay, command. You don't have any dots in command.
I have one dot in command. Yeah.
So you do. I was looking at the wrong sheet there. You have one dot in command. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
Not on this one, I don't think. I don't think I'm I'm not too desperate to get this information, but it'd be nice. So I'll just go with the flat one die and see what happens.
Okay, you're assisting Lavish.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
By just making anything next to.
Okay. Okay. Lavish takes one stress then. And I'll give you a control position because obviously you're, as far as he's concerned, a noble talking to a servant.
Okay.
So roll me 2d6.
2d6. They are both freeze.
Okay, I'm afraid that's a failure, but because it's a control position, I'm not sure what you really want me to do. I mean, I'm not in charge here.
I'm just gonna storm off in a huff. Like, useless people.
Okay. Do you want to leave it at that, or do you want to try it? Is that an attempt at a roll?
Oh, what do you mean?
Are you trying? Do you want to try and roll something with that, or are you just
no, just storming off in a huff, basically.
Okay.
just giving up at that point.
Tried.
Yeah, I tried, but you can't get the help.
Okay. Do you want to do anything lavish?
I want to see entrances, exits. If we could sneak out a bread sculpture. What would be the easiest way to go?
Okay, what do you want to use for that?
Survey?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, because you've got the run of the place, I'll call that, and it's very well lit, I'll call that a control position with, I've actually completely forgotten what the word is, but yeah. Okay, do you want to push yourself?
How many dice do I have without?
Survey, you've just got one dot in survey, so it would just be the one dice on its own.
Let's try the one.
Okay, roll me a 1d6 then.
Ooh, a 6.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you see all the, there are 3 doors heading in and out of the warehouse. The centerpiece is in clear view of everyone, but there's also a sort of a back entrance where they're probably going to bring in the bread.
Okay.
And well, you can obviously tell because the area is well lit. Everyone will if you try and take the bread in the middle of the party without some sort of distraction, everyone's going to see. Okay.
Or unless we make it not well lit.
Indeed. For now, we'll cut back to Archelos. Okay, so Archelos, you're heading towards the kitchen. Archelos, the dealer. Okay, you're headed towards the kitchens.
Yes.
You can smell food, but you cannot smell bread. We'll just assume you can actually recognise the smell of bread, even though you technically wouldn't be able to.
I might be.
There's a
as you know, a nobleman from Tickerus. You don't know what we got up there.
True. For all, maybe
very
the demons. Maybe the demons gave you bread daily. We don't know.
Yeah. Daily bread from the demons.
Oh no. And we're saying this on Easter, no less. On this good Christian Minecraft server. So you head down a series of corridors, following your nose, until finally you find the kitchen. What do you want to do? The door's closed. What do you want to do?
I would like to open the door and be like blubber in, like as if I was expecting this to be the bathroom.
Okay, so you're just going to blunder in and pretend you're... Okay, I'll let you do that for free. You push open the door, wander in as if you're expecting a bathroom.
Look around and be like,
and look around. Right, obviously it's quite a large kitchen with a very, very... Obviously this is sort of like an old medieval kitchen-ish, but yeah, like sort of like a medieval kitchen that's been retrofitted into a Victorian-style kitchen, I guess. So there's a large oven, and on the table, you can see what is, without a doubt, the centerpiece. Around it, a couple of servants are just looking around the bread carefully, checking it for faults. A third person who's just dressed like a farmer is just signing some documents. As you enter, of course, because you didn't do so quietly, they all look at you. What do you want to do?
This is not the bathroom. Excuse me, I must have misunderstood the directions I was given. Do I see any liquids currently being worked on?
Yep.
Like soup?
Yep, obviously there's there's all sorts of foods. There's a pot of soup. There's punch. There's various wines. A lot of it looks like it's but the soup, it looks like is for the isn't for the party itself. It looks more like a more common, looks like a broth that's just there to feed the staff. And the wine is of course in bottles.
The punch though. How far away am I from the punch?
Okay, the punch is maybe just on the opposite side of the room to you.
And the soup is how far away from me?
The soup is basically as you go in, the soup's on a counter to the right, well, on a hob to the right, bubbling away. And on the opposite side of the room is the punch.
Oh, but while I'm here, assume these are the kitchens. May I taste some of the punch before I leave and get back to the party?
Okay, how do you want to influence them?
Consort, of course.
Okay,
Because
do you want
I'm
to push
always
yourself?
being friendly.
Okay, do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
What do you offer as a bargain?
Okay, you can take a devil's bargain, but they'll be suspicious, and that'll fill in another slice of the.
Yeah, I'm willing to take that risk.
Okay, roll me 3d6 then.
That's a 4.
Okay, that's a partial success. They look at you, say, okay, but I guess you may, yeah, sure, whatever you want, Gov, but yeah, be careful, this is a kitchen after all.
Yes, I'll be very careful.
If anything happens to this bread, it's my job. Okay,
I'm
so you walk...
not coming close to the bread. I'm holding a distance from the bread.
Okay, so you walk up to the punch and, yeah, they're all, but, while the rest are Yeah, while the two chefs get back to their jobs and turn their back, the farmer in the corner is still keeping their eye on you instead of leaving.
Okay, I will use the what do you call it? The ladle?
The what?
What do you lift punch with?
Ladle.
From the boat?
The ladle.
There. Yes, I will I will use that. Lift up a little bit and just spill my vial of slumber essence into that ladle and put it back in.
Okay, and how are you going to do that without the farmer seeing you?
That's gonna be proud. Do you have a devil's bargain to offer me?
Okay, so you want a devil's bargain for that? Okay.
Mind you, the bottle is in my sleeve, so if I just lift my arms up close to my face, like take a sniff of the thing, it does cover up the process quite well.
Okay, tell you what, you'll succeed in getting it in, but just as before you leave, the farmer's going to decide to take a drink of it before he heads off.
Ooh.
Or going to try and drink immediately to take a drink of it.
Oh, is that upon the bargain or just?
Yeah, that's the bargain. Basically, you'll succeed in slipping it in without anyone noticing, but the farmer who's staring at you is going to take a drink because, you know, thinking, okay, if this posh kid can have some, so can I.
Yeah, in that case, I will not take the bargain. I will take the stress instead.
Okay, so you're pushing yourself. Take 2 stress, and that is... yep, roll me 2d6.
4.
Okay, partial success. You managed to slip it in, but you take a bit too... As you're doing it, you take a bit too long, and the cooks get a bit nervous. So I'm going to fill in another slice.
Okay.
So you're now on 3 of 8.
Yeah, and I will thank them for the time and head back to the party.
Okay. The farmer leaves through the tradesman's entrance, and you head back out to the party. Of course, at this point, you know the bread isn't cooked yet, so you're going to have to wait until it is. And I'm starting a 4-part clock for that.
I will do my best to find the rest of my crew.
Okay, so you wander your way back to the party and look around. It's a brightly lit, because obviously it's a very brightly lit room. You don't have any trouble spotting them.
Especially with that cloak. Coat.
Yep, especially with the giant mouldy fur coat.
Oh no, I wouldn't have taken that to this. I wouldn't have been allowed in. I'm wearing my fine clothes and jewellery.
Of course. Okay, so you have to kill some time and find a way to get the bread out of there. What do you do?
I'm going to go to the toilet.
I am going to inform Alias and Lavish before Alias runs off. Do not drink the bunch.
Okay. I'll just nod. Inferior vintage, I take it. And I would like to run to the toilet if possible.
Okay. You run to the... Okay, so obviously because it's a warehouse, it doesn't actually have a toilet in. So you'll have to slum it a bit and use an outhouse just outside.
That's fine. An outhouse will do. Am I right in saying that if I'm bringing equipment now, I check it off if I use it? Because I would like to use my fine disguise kit.
Okay, fine disguise kit.
And I would like to dress up as a servant.
Okay, yep, that's something you get for free. So, yep, check that off, and...
that one's not in italics, that one.
Isn't it? Hang on.
It's up at the top in bold, but it's not in italics like the 2 around it.
It's just the classic.
Yeah, it's just high quality. a quality disguise kit.
Okay. In that case, check off one load, and you've pull out I guess you've hidden some servant's clothes under your fine clothes. Put on a bit of take off the makeup.
Yeah.
Take maybe a bit of dirt on. No, obviously you have to.
I'll splash on a little bit of I say water. You know where I'm getting it from, but a little bit of water to make it look like I've been working hard and I'm a little bit sweaty and all that. Yeah, and I'm going to disguise myself as a waiter.
Okay, you are now disguised as a waiter then.
Excellent. I'll have to get back in pretty sharpish, I suppose. But that's the plan. I will try and approach Lavish and the dealer. Maybe can I see any trays of like drinks or anything that I can just grab on the way past to?
Yep, there's a large pile of trays and drinks for all the waiters all the genuine waiters
support it like that, and I'll walk up and I'll be like, drinks, ladies and gentlemen, lovely mushroom wine, ladies and gentlemen, mushroom wine, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and I'll whisper and go, it's me. It's me, darling.
I think I'll pass. I'm currently working.
What was that, Lavish?
I'm currently working. I will not take it.
Oh, you're no fun, Lavish. Live a little. How about you, the dealer?
I already took a class.
Excellent.
Enjoy your day at work. The bread is not yet in the oven, so ensure you spend your time wisely.
Right, so obviously you're looking for a way to get the bread out of there, so remember you can flashback. I did explain the flashback mechanic, didn't I?
That we can have prepared something previously and just say it as needed, as long as it's not ridiculous. And there might be a stress cost.
Basically, the more ridiculous, the more contrived and ridiculous it is, the more stress it will cost you, to a maximum of 2, basically.
Ooh. This place is a warehouse, right? And warehouses are typically not too far away from prostitutes. I wonder if I could have convinced Nyrix, my friend, to perhaps sneak in. I'm wondering what would be the best way to store a large bit of bread, like to hide it, like a big box or something, maybe, or put one nearby that one of us could grab at some point at an opportune moment. I don't know. I might continue thinking on that before deciding.
I have an idea.
Oh, yeah?
I could pretend I'm like bodyguarding a box that's like purposely in the corner. Quotations.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, mate, yeah.
So, sort of in the corner of the room, would that be a bit conspicuous?
Well, it could have valuables in it, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, what, you're just going to put the bread in the box in front of everyone?
Oh, good point.
Well, sometimes in plain sight.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry. I'm the GM. Carry on. I'm not telling you how to do this.
Well, it doesn't need to be in the warehouse, I suppose. There's 2 different buildings. We could squirrel it away in a box outside that looks nothing different to any of the other crates, but maybe we've had waterproofed or something beforehand, so that we can store it there and then essentially come back tomorrow, pick it up and leave when no one's here.
Okay, so basically you want your friend Nyrix to have smuggled in a special, reasonably inconspicuous container. You can slip it in. Where's she going to hide that for you then?
Well, if it is something that's, reasonably waterproof, she could have just, if it's a warehouse, stacked it next to any other crates that might be nearby, or barrels or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you have that for no stress.
Yay!
A box at the warehouse isn't really a big ask.
A beautiful stress-free existence. Well, I said that, I've got 1 stress.
Don't worry, I got 5.
5? You're going for it.
Yeah. When you hit 9, you're basically out of there. And by out of there, I mean permanent consequences.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you've got your box. While you're putting on your disguise, that filled in a box on the bread cooking. It's safe to assume it's in the oven now. You know what? Actually, it's pizza slices, just to be thematically appropriate. So that's 1 out of 4 pizza slices eaten.
Okay.
Okay, so you're disguised as a servant. Archelos and Lavish are still milling about the party. Wait, Lavish is sort of pretending to bodyguard the box. The box.
The box is outside, though.
Oh, right.
It could still have a bodyguard, I suppose.
Alright, Lavish, are you guarding the box or are you doing something else?
Yeah, guarding the box.
Okay, Lavish is guarding the box.
The weirdest bodyguard you ever seen. Guarding a box.
Yeah, like that's in the original generation Pokemon, you're like that one guard who's guarding a poster.
Yeah.
Aren't you an upstanding citizen? Okay, so the bread's still not done yet. What else do you want? How else are you going to pass the time?
Can I see where the other waiters and all that are going? You know, in between, like when they duck off of their brief shift or when they go back for supplies. Can I follow one of those by any chance?
Yep. You see a group of you see one waiter with an empty tray. Take a look at the wine and decide it's time for a refill. Grab one of her colleagues, and the two of them head out.
Okay, I'm gonna.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna follow along at a bit of a distance. Not I'm basically just trying to look like I'm also doing the same thing. Essentially, I'm not like sneaking behind corners or anything like that. I'm just walking behind them.
Okay, so as far as they know, you're just another waiter. Okay, so they start chatting with each other. Hey, so you seen any good stories yet? And he says, yeah, same old, few Leviathan hunters, dragging, I mean, okay, I guess they hunt demons and like, but kind of boring. Just hearing the same stories again. Quite, I think I heard quite a lot of people are asking about Lady Clave, but I'm not even sure she's showing up today. Heard she was too busy with tending to her ship. Yeah. Hey, what about you?
I'm gonna. Walk
you heard anything good?
Well, yeah. I'm gonna put down the drinks and say, "Oh my God, have you seen that man from Tikaros, the noble? What a dish! I hear they consort with demons in more than one way. If you get my meaning. Oh, I'm so jealous. He's so hot. He's so hot. Oh, darlings. Oh, you're gonna have to hold me back from that one. I tell you, you're gonna have to hold me back.
Second-hand embarrassment.
Presumably Lavish can see this happening.
Oh God,
she's just outside.
I presumably not even remembered Lavish is there at this point. Like it was all our idea for Lavish to stand there guarding it, and I've just walked past and just started talking about the dealer. Like, he's so hot. Oh my God. And then I'm going to lean in and just go, so either of you into, the stuff, fun powder, whereabouts do you, if you wanted to, where would you go, do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I didn't touch the stuff
Oh, come on. You're in the food industry. You can't tell me you don't touch the nose candy.
Jim? Fine. Wait. Who are you?
Me?
I don't think I've seen you around here. Yeah, I don't think I've seen you around here before.
Oh, I'm just I was just brought on as extra staff because of, and I'm gonna try and think of a name off the top of my head. You know Tim. He's off sick, and they just called in an extra person really quick. I normally work other side of town at a place, and I'm okay. So this place is going to be real because it would be a noble's place, but you know what? I'm going to pick the theatre I used to work with. You know Maestro Helleran at the Brightston Theatre. So I usually work there. So they brought me over because I'm pretty good with dealing with the nobility and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what are you going to roll to convince them then?
I'm guessing sway makes sense for that one.
Yep, that works for me. Do you want to push yourself, or?
I'm going to push myself because I feel like there would be a problem if I don't.
Okay. Okay, take 2 stress and give me 3d6 then.
Oh, it's clicking my disguise kit repeatedly instead of... There we go. Okay, 3d6. Let's go. That is a 4. Wow.
Okay, that's a partial success. Okay, right then, mate. Well, got my eye on you, but if you just go around the back, knock on the door twice, and they'll let you. Well, I don't think there's anyone there at the moment, but knock on the door twice to make sure no one's using it, and yeah, you'll find what you're looking for.
I'll blow him a kiss and say, you can have more than your eyes on me later if you play your cards right.
Yeah. But because it's only a partial success, that's another slice of suspicion.
Ooh, uh-oh.
So, whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa! Living on a prayer.
Operation shut Alias up before he blows the entire operation as in years ago.
Just because he is a noble doesn't mean he's good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait for them to go, and then I will approach Lavish and let her know about the knocking twice and going in, and there's an area there that we can sneak something into or hide into if we need to, maybe to duck into. Just have that information that we can go there, and that is a secret location that might be to our benefit when it all hits the fan.
Okay. And yep, that's another segment on the bread cooking, so it's half done. Half
Just
baked.
like our suspicion.
Just like our plan.
Well, half baked is our plan.
Okay. So obviously when it hits the third slice of pizza, they're probably going to be they'll probably be taking it out of the oven and carrying it down. So, how do you want to get ready for that?
No idea.
At this point, I should. Oh yeah. At this point, I should point out you see. Right? Did Archelos tell you about the punch?
Yes.
Yeah, you did. Okay, you can actually see the punches being ported over to the warehouse.
Okay. I think our best bet, but I'm not a planner. I'll say this: if you look at my insight skills, they're all at 0. But our best bet is probably to take it when it's being transferred between buildings.
Okay.
But what does everyone else think? Because I'm not the planner. I just kiss people, okay?
I feel like that is a valid point.
Oh, I should have had +1 dice on that roll last time. I forgot about my cloak and dagger immediately. It's my only feature.
Oh no, sorry about that.
No, it's my fault. It's right there.
Well, it's going to be a long night. I'm sure you'll get another chance to use it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, what does everyone else think on the best time to strike?
Okay.
I think it would be when it's being brought in. Like before it actually gets the building.
Wait, I'm dressed as a waiter. What if I'm the one to go and pick it up?
Well, it's quite a large thing of bread. I doubt you'll be doing it on your own, but you can certainly infiltrate the couriers, the bread porters, the
bread carriers.
The briocheers.
Oh ho ho ho!
Yeah, we don't have time to get any
Yes.
more disguises by just like knocking people out and dragging them to the secret place because we're right at the end now. It's about to be moved. So, okay, I'll infiltrate to get in a good position at least. But
Okay, so you head into the kitchens and open the door. The two cooks are still in there. Obviously, the farmer has long since left. What do you do?
I'm going to say, where's the bloody bread? Where's the bloody bread? They've been demanding it for half an hour now. Where is it?
Okay, in the time it's taken you to walk down there, third slice has been filled in. The cook. Okay, so the two chefs take a look at you and say, "All right, steady on, steady on. It's just about done. You you here to take it or?"
Yeah. But I'm not carrying that myself. I'll just drop it and then we'll be ruined. Can you two come help me?
Hey, look, where are the rest of them?
Oh,
Like, there should be at least two of you.
they're carrying wines and... Look, alright, I'll go get someone. Alright, keep it warm. I'll be right back. And I'm just gonna, like, bolt out the door and gesture at Lavish, like, come on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, quick, before they get here.
Okay. Wow, such a powerful way to enlist a noble to help.
Well, Lavish is
Or a
dressed
noble.
like a bodyguard at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, like a noble's bodyguard. So that would, yeah.
This guy
Strong.
apparently works for the lady, so I don't know. He was happy to help, but we've got to get that thing in there. They are chomping at the bit for it right now, and it's going to turn into a bloodbath. So come on, let's get it.
Oh, wait.
Right.
I have an idea. I'm gonna bring the box with. Right. Oh, we'll put it in the box, and then we'll give it a big reveal on the table.
Okay, so the cooks are
love
going
that.
to recognise the box. No, wait, yeah. So how do you want to convince the cooks of this?
We gotta make sure it stays as pristine as possible on the way there. I mean, anything could happen. Anybody could nick a slice if they wanted.
Okay, what do you want to roll for that?
I have 2 points in sway.
Yeah, that'll do. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
I will push myself.
I will also help.
Okay, that's 2 stress for Lavish, 1 for Alias, and give me 4. Yeah, give me 4d6.
A 3 and a 4 are the highest.
Okay, wait, how did you roll 4 die?
Oh yes, sorry. 3, 4, 2, 2.
Okay, that's a 4 then. Basically, you roll your die and take the highest result.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's a 4, partial success. Okay, so they say, okay, you sure we shouldn't check with someone for that?
Oh no time. We've got to get it in there. Seriously, like we might be fired. You might be fired if we don't get this in there right now.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm just a chef. Look, if you wait staff want to get in trouble over it, it's not my problem. Fine.
Thank you. I'll get you some mushroom wine later as thanks.
Okay, right. Let's get this oven open. It looks just about done, baked to perfection. Hey, feast your eyes on this. And obviously, he slides out, and the bread is obviously it's as long as a man is tall. It's well, it's literally the tentacle of a giant sea monster covered in barb. There's tons of detail. It's covered in suckers with little barbs that seem to have been glazed slightly differently to the rest of it, so they shine as if they're like teeth. This is literally
Joey suckers.
Yeah. Oh dear God. This is you don't see much bread, but this is definitely the most amazing piece of bread you've seen in your life.
Oh,
and of course, it is risen
gorgeous,
perfectly.
Because of
Right.
my vice, I'm gonna feel a very strong urge to take a bite.
Oh my God.
My vice is luxury. I need luxurious items, so I'm probably not gonna do it here right in front of them, but when we get it out there, I may be extremely tempted to open the box quickly to have another look and maybe take a bite to eat and try it.
Okay, so you and Lavish, with the help of the chefs, you and Lavish load it into the box and start rolling it out of the kitchens and into the courtyard. What do you want to roll to try and take a look and take a bite?
Would finesse work, flipping the lid up and just taking one quickly?
Yeah, I'll let you have finesse. Do you want to push yourself?
I'm going to push myself. I need this. I need this.
Okay,
Can
take
I
two
do
stress.
anything to stop him?
Just like with all bread, I need this.
You can try and... Yeah, there are rules for PC versus PC. You can try and grab his hand and pull him back. But
You know
of
what,
course,
actually-
that might cause a scene.
Actually, she wouldn't do anything. This is weird. She likes weird.
Okay. Okay. Yep, that's 2 stress, and roll me 3d6 then.
Okay, I've added my stress. 3d6. That is a 5.
Oh, okay, that's partial success. So, you grab a piece of bread, take a bite into it,
Oh.
but just as you're chewing on it, a waiter, one of the other waiters emerges, looks, and shouts, "Hey, what's going on over there?"
Eep.
Should
we
So
let's
she
get moving.
yeah, we
so
can't.
she
We
strolls
can't.
right up to you.
We can't stop.
She strolls straight up to you as you're rolling it along, glares in the eye. What did you just do?
He's got a drug habit.
What do you mean?
What are you making such a big deal
What
about it?
did you just? Were you doing something to the bread?
Oh no!
Just
no.
making sure it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It was just that we were told that we had to keep looking at it to make sure it hadn't shifted.
And what do you want to roll to sell that?
Okay, actually, Lavish, do you reckon you could hold this very briefly on your own? For the,
Yeah.
I'm talking 5 seconds.
Yeah. I got it.
How was that waiter aware that the bread was in the box?
Okay, well, they saw me taste it.
Yeah, they saw you. Yeah, they saw him lifting the bread out and taking a piece.
I'm gonna say,
or they might have.
Of lifting it.
hold this for a
bread
sec, and I'm gonna approach her and say, look. I can sort all this out. It's okay. I can explain. I'm gonna draw out just a little handkerchief, not a lavish one. Well, not a lavish one. Not a not a fancy.
Stay out of my
handkerchief.
pocket.
Just a standard handkerchief. And is anyone else looking?
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay, I'm going to press it to her mouth. And it is loaded with trance powder.
Okay. Tick off.
That is an italics
that's-
one, so I've always got trance powder. Whoops.
Yeah, okay. Tick off your trance powder then.
Okay.
And
So it has a
Yep,
hypnotic
she's,
effect when we looked it up, so I think do some suggestion to it.
okay.
And
What do you want to suggest?
the suggestion I would have is, hey, you know what best to do is to go back to the drug shed, get some of that nose candy, then you're really on the ball, you're ready for it. We'll handle this. It's gonna be fine. You head on back to the shack and just go bit of the old nose candy. Here, take some of mine, and I'm gonna hand the napkin over, and it's just just take that. Fine, have a bit on me. You're looking a bit peaky, not quite at the head of your game. You're seeing things. I'm basically gaslighting someone
Oh no.
with drugs. So this is taking a turn. But yeah, that's what I'm going to try
Yep.
to do.
Oh, here we are, the description. A dose of the popular drug which induces an altered mental state. The victim of this powder is not fully unconscious, but rather retreats into a calm, suggestional mental state similar to hypnotism. Okay, so I guess I'm feeling a bit tired. Okay, fine. Yes, I will do that. And she just sort of she walks normally, but she's basically on a mission. So she wanders off to the drug cupboard and snorts them.
Nice. I'm getting immediately back under the bread coffin to help Lavish.
Yeah. How does Lavish feel about all this?
You took another bite of that bread, I will end you. This almost cost me my pay.
I had to.
I understand, but I'm letting you know that was your one free bite.
All right, understood. And only because I love you so much, darling.
Yes, but you'll affect my dough.
It's very unfortunate I
Get
can't
out of here,
give
though.
inspiration.
Yeah, we should hide this
Okay,
somewhere.
where are you
Do we go find the dealer at any point, or we should just leave him at the party and just leave with this box?
You know what? What is our Chelos doing at this moment?
Oh, just hanging around, having wine, talking to people, enjoying the night.
Okay, do you want to do anything?
As soon as he sees the bunch arrive, and the bread not arrive, he's gonna leave.
Okay, so you slip out. Yep, you don't need to roll for that. Everyone will just assume you're going to the loo. Okay, so what are you going to do with your bread in a box?
We need to either hide it somewhere or get it out.
I mean, you are outside.
Yeah, we need to get it away from the area though, without them getting suspicious, I guess.
Let's say it's wine.
I also need to get my clothes back.
Nah, you can find more later.
That was fine
Yep,
jewelry.
Yep. Plus,
need
if they
the
find them,
finer
it might
things.
draw suspicion.
And I need the finer things.
So, we could just say this is like a box of wine or something.
It's as long as a person. I like your style.
Really big box of wine.
It's a coffin of wine. It's
really in style these days.
I guess this is a warehouse, so the two of us look like workers, essentially. I mean, I look like a waiter, so not exactly, but...
You look like essential workers.
Yeah. So, we might be fine walking out with a box, because it's a nondescript box, isn't it? So...
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to try and hide it in... Where do you want to... Do you want to try and hide it in the warehouse where the party's happening, or another one?
I almost wonder if we can just leave with it and take it back to our
Worth a shot.
our cult headquarters at this point. It's the plan has gone better than I expected at this point.
Okay, so you're just going to try and make good your escape.
Can I do one flashback, actually?
Okay, go
Can I
ahead.
flash back to having told the dealer where my clothes are after I got changed?
Okay, yeah,
That sounds fair.
bit of a strain. Yeah, I'll let you have that for one stress.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
How many you're on now?
I've got 2 boxes
More than
left. Although, hang on, it keeps unticking trance powder because I'm. There we go. Yeah, 2 boxes left.
Okay. So where are you going to take? Okay, so obviously you're still in hostile territory, so you can't just flash cut back yet. So what are you going to do?
Beeline
Where are you going to move?
for the headquarters? I guess. How far away is the headquarters, roughly?
Okay, so your headquarters is in 6 Towers, which is like on the east, sort of like the east of the city, and the docks are in the north west, so a fair distance. But
Okay.
obviously, you can as soon as you leave the docks, you can probably just safely. No one will be that suspicious, although it might take a while to roll a box back.
Are there any gondolas nearby?
Gondolas. Well, you're in the docks, so yep. There's probably a canal nearby.
So if we can get it to a gondola, get it on there, and then take the canal, or take the gondola as close to our headquarters as possible, and then keep going, that might make sense. We've got a bit of coin left, I think. I don't know how
waterproof.
It is waterproof in case anything goes wrong. That's a good point. Yeah, we made sure the box is waterproof. Yeah, we'll just get on the box and just like flashback to when I had an oar put. When I got an oar stuck straight up my arse the other night, and it's finally coming in handy.
In fairness, you can bring a large weapon. That could be an oar.
Okay, wait. Sorry, I was just double checking the rules on gondolas. Could you repeat that?
I'm not repeating all of it. I don't think I should have ever said it. So what we might do is
Someone clip that, please.
roll the box, or we can just carry the box. There's 3 of us now. Carry the box to the nearest canal with a gondola. Get it into the gondola. And sail along the canal to the closest point nearest our cult headquarters, and then carry it from there.
Right, so the gondolas aren't... basically, they operate the boats. They aren't like a taxi service. That would actually be the cabbies who run carts.
Oh, okay.
You could take a cab.
I was hoping they acted like, actual gondolas. Damn it.
They're more like river haulage.
Well,
So
this
they're
is
more like
haulage.
truckers.
We're carrying something. We might
Okay,
be-
you could try and... Well, you wouldn't have a scheduled delivery, would you? Unless you want to try and bluff them into that. But that might create more witnesses.
It would add to the witnesses. Maybe we should just get a cab. Would we get this box in a cab?
Okay,
That's
so
one more
that's...
person to involve, though.
And they would and it is a very large box, so witnesses might mention to suspicious-looking persons were hauling a large box.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
We have acolytes, right? As part of our cult, we have adepts.
Yeah.
Yep, you have an army of adepts.
We have an
Well,
army
not an
of
army, but-
people in like cloaks and stuff, right? Can we make this look like a funeral?
Genius!
Yes. Okay, I absolutely love that.
Like we've already
I'll be
prepared
part
for
of the
this
group,
big
like,
box to be there.
Suddenly,
Can we have them, like,
just pour in from the
Round
street,
down
like
around
side
them?
streets, and we have a funeral
Okay.
procession.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you want to contact them?
Could we have them, essentially waiting outside? Well, not waiting outside. That would be a bit obvious. Yeah, maybe we do need a contact or a way to get
Okay.
their attention. That makes sense, actually.
Okay, someone can flash back if they want to, of course.
Yes, I will flash back that I gave them the order to stand by near the docks.
Okay, that makes... Yeah, I'll give you that for one stress. That makes sense. Okay, so your crew of adepts waiting near just outside the docks.
Hmm.
And of course, well, we'll just retroactively assume you actually made the box look like a coffin for this.
I think, yeah.
Sort of like maybe sort of like a crate. Could be a cheap coffin. Could be a crate.
Mm.
So that they all surround it, and you so you're going to try and make your way back home, looking like a funeral procession.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is how the orb. So this
Let
is how
us pray.
this is how the order of the orb honor their dead.
Yeah. One restaurant worker and one bodyguard and one member of the nobility, as is written in scripture. Always the three major professions.
We call it the cult brioche style.
In fairness, I would have retrieved Alice's gear by this point.
I probably haven't changed though.
Yeah,
Yes.
fair enough.
Well, you could try, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I did say I
There
might
are a
end up
lot of
getting
people
naked
carrying-
behind this, so just in the
There
middle
are a
of
lot
the crowd,
of people
just
covering you up. Like, you're
very quickly
entirely
change.
surrounded by adepts.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
putting
so
robes
you have
over
a
me.
free dressing room.
is anyone familiar with the film The Warriors?
Could I have also told the
I don't like
adepts
the
to
sound
bring
of
free spare cloaks for us?
What was that? Sorry.
Could
Oh, free spare cloaks.
Yes, for us, so
Okay,
we can
so-
just cloak up
Okay.
and surround us.
Okay. You're traveling light, so I'm assuming you had free lightweight cloaks secreted on your person somehow.
Oh, we were
That's
thinking
also
maybe
an
the adepts could have them.
Yeah, adepts.
Oh, right.
Like,
Yeah.
bring them in,
Okay,
hand them
so-
to us, and we just go. Vroom.
Oh, yeah. Okay, your adepts will give you a cloak to put over yourselves. So now you all look like, a group of cloaks. Yep. So yeah, obviously in the film, the Warriors, a gang, had to make their way home through other gangs' territories. So yep, it's time to lead a funeral procession home. So as you leave the docks, which direction would you be heading in?
True price stone, I think.
Yep.
Or
Okay.
is
So
price
you
stone too rich?
no, Brightstone's fine. Okay,
I
it's
grew
got
up
quite
there.
a lot
It's
of
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you head through the streets of Brightstone towards Six Towers. As you walk by, several bluecoat patrols. As you near the middle of Brightstone, keeping to the just the side streets and avoiding any of the main roads. Several you notice a large influx of bluecoats rushing by. It seems that there's some trouble at the docks.
Couldn't imagine what that would be about.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of people having a nap. It's fine.
We must continue with our solemn work.
Yes. Let us pray.
As you walk travel down the streets, two very familiar figures walk by. A large blue coat and a smaller woman blue coat.
Gonna pull my hood over a little bit more. Just. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As they walk past, you can hear a snatch of conversation. Hey, something smells good. What are their rights like there? But they otherwise pay no heed and keep walking.
I'm so tempted to go like, joke's on you. You just like the smell of human flesh, but no. Hold it down.
Okay. Anyone else want to try anything?
I kind of want to try and
I
get
think
another
we're fine,
bite of bread
since
because
they
it
are.
does smell great.
Gonna
You
light
want
some
to try meat?
incense as we're walking. Try to cover the smell.
The terms were not
Okay.
for an intact bread, so we're fine.
Okay. Yeah. Take off. Mark off one load for the incense, and yeah, you light the incense, and that creates a strong smell of incense to camouflage the smell of fresh bread, which will hopefully also stop Alias from being tempted.
I'm so snacky.
You're like
Crumbs.
grounded.
If I don't get the bread, I'll get hangry.
Okay, this is how it works. I tried to get revenge on Nick by having them interrogated by corrupt police officers. And now his character's stealing grounded thing.
Yeah.
Right. So you can you continue on through Brightstone. Okay. Now, of course, as anyone might know, this is where Lord Strangford, the leader of the Leviathan Hunters, lives. So, of course, word has been sent about the theft already. So, obviously, the Blue Coat patrols are getting heavier as they're fanning out, trying to find out who stole the precious bread. As it turns out, the lady does not like being humiliated. Okay. As you're walking, just as you're reaching 6 Towers, Blue Coat makes eye contact and approaches you. What do you want to do?
Greetings, sir.
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Would you like to pray with us?
No, thank you. I'm afraid I'll need you to state your business, sir.
We are taking this body back to the funeral home, where we keep our dead. Let us pray.
Right. I'm afraid I cannot.
Our deaths join us.
Since you genuinely believe this, I won't need to roll on that. Okay. You doing anything, Val? I mean, Lavish? Where'd I get Val from? Oh yeah, sorry, that's someone else. Yeah. Lavish, are you doing anything?
Keeping an eye on that Blue Coat and just keeping an eye out for anybody.
Okay, do you want to...
Twitchy.
Okay. The Blue Coat is convinced and moves on, and you enter 6 Towers. So, you're now in 6 Towers on home territory. You're almost there. So I'm just going to start a 4-part clock just to make it home. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to just rush there as quickly as possible? Do you want to keep up the charade?
We keep up the charade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You continue chanting, making your way down the street.
I don't know if we will keep chanting. That was a partial. That was a prayer. At that point.
You don't need to chant.
If it comes down to another prayer, we will resume the chant.
Okay. You roll the box through a large amount through piles of a pile of trash down Bowmore Way. You then notice, once again, footsteps are following you. What do you want to do?
See who it is, or...
Okay, so do you just want to just straight up try and get a good turn around and see who's following you, or?
Yeah. Well, I want to see if I can kind of break off from the group and then see who's following.
Okay, what do you want to use for that?
Can I use survey?
Survey would be more like looking around rather than looking at something more specific. And yeah, obviously you're trying to outwit a person, so it's... I'd say you can either use hunt, but it won't be as effective, or you can use prowl, but obviously you don't have as many dots in it.
Hunt.
Okay, so you're going to try and use hunt to try and break away and get the drop on them.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain.
Okay, so what are you trying to do here? You trying to sort of follow them quietly, or do you just want to spot who they are?
Both. Wait.
Okay, so you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so you're just trying to work out who's following you without them noticing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but in the process, you're going to trip over and skin your knee a bit. Well, actually, no, that's a bit. You're going to sprain your ankle slightly, which will be level 1 harm.
That's fine.
Okay, roll me 3d6 with hunt and mark down level 1 harm, sprained ankle.
5.
Alrighty, that's a partial success. So you manage to break away from the group and start stalking the person following them. It's clearly the same person as before. Who you remember is, is affiliated with the Grey Cloaks. But you also realise that they aren't alone, and there's at least one and they appear. In fact, they actually appear to be following someone else. Now, this someone else, while the person you're following hasn't noticed you, this other person clearly has. What do you want to do?
Would you like to join our procession?
Okay, and what are you going to use for that?
Sway.
Yeah. Sways.
That's all I got.
You can. I think it'd be more. You know what? I'll let you use sway. And just to be specific, you are trying to avoid the second follower from getting suspicious of you.
We are mourning my great uncle who has just passed. And if you would like to share your condolences, I would very much appreciate it. But since we are in mourning, we would like some privacy.
Okay, this is going to be a bit of a Okay, with sway, I'm going to say that's going to have lesser effect, so you might not completely convince them, unless you want to use prowl to try and sort of look a bit more innocuous, and look like you are just coincidentally moving away from the rest of the procession.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Prowl.
So. Okay, so that's 0 dots. Do you want to push yourself, or take a devil's bargain? Okay, that's 2 stress. Roll me 1d then.
6! Yes!
Okay, that's a full success.
Yes.
Okay, 2 stress well spent. The figure pauses for a moment and continues. The other figure doesn't pay you. The first figure pauses for a moment too, and it seems notices the second figure, but otherwise doesn't react. And with that, you roll up to your temple. The second figure pulls off his hood and says, "Ah, excellent job. Your coin as promised.
And your bread.
Oh, do what you want with the bread."
Ah, fair enough.
Well,
I
guess we're eating
the
well.
lid off and I'm just diving in.
Sorry about giving you crap about that earlier, though. I'd love some of that.
I'm going
Enough
face
moments for
first.
attack, so it's fine.
I'm going to make some extremely disgusting noises, which I won't repeat here, but there would be some disgusting noises as I'm eating, things like...
Take the bread and the bread eater inside.
I'm basically
can I have my
not coming up for
section-
breath.
Can I have my section away from you?
So
across
I
the room.
will have the adepts lift the box up with Alias in it and take it inside.
It is person size.
Okay,
Alias, go to
Okay,
your room to eat
so-
that.
the adepts carry Alias in, and meanwhile, Lavish and Archelos, obviously the second figure that Lavish noticed earlier, is still there, and just sort of staring. What do you want to do?
So, we know who this guy is. Who are you?
The figure slowly sorts it, just quietly steps back and tries to slip away.
Can I study the figure?
You certainly may. Right. Obviously, that's 2 dots in study. Do you wanna?
What do you offer as a bargain in this situation?
Okay, Devil's Bargain.
Dealer's got a deal.
You study them, but you go blind.
Suddenly the sun blinds me.
That's a bit extreme.
We do get that occasionally, don't we? So it could happen. Glory incarnate from our cult.
I do wear shades though, for a reason.
Yeah. Oh yes, it turns out this is actually your deity. You're blinded from staring. No.
Hang on, you wear shades in a world with basically no sun.
Yes.
Well, right then.
All right. Says Mr. Style over Substance himself.
Yeah, alright, I can't comment.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I'm a thief and I have dark vision.
Okay, Devil's Bargain. Okay. If you want that extra die, then the figure in question will, regardless of what their actual intentions are, take a personal disliking to you.
Aww. In that case, I will not take the bargain. I'll just roll.
Okay, 2 dice then, please.
Ooh, another crit fail.
Wait, seriously?
Bin
Snake eyes.
those dice, please.
No, they're nice and blue.
Oh my gosh.
So I can get 6s when I'm rolling single, but when you get more dice...
Okay, so as you look on the figure, they dash off, and their footsteps, into the darkness. You barely hear or see a thing, but you get a very unpleasant vibe, like you've just made an enemy for life, for trying to look a bit too closely.
For trying to inspect who that was.
But yes, someone other than someone other than the Grey Cloaks has taken an interest in you. So then, obviously that's the end of the heist. You successfully stole a giant loaf of bread.
Yes.
You monsters. People have gone to jail for that.
We framed Greenmane for that.
Lame is...
And so, obviously now we're in downtime. I mean, we literally just had a break, but now we're actually in-game downtime.
Mhm.
So, let me just get to where the... yeah, so obviously you have your character sheets open, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll just open up the crew sheet again. Lovely. So start with oh come on. Sorry, literally I had bookmarks in my copy of the rule book, but I managed to drop it this morning in there. In hindsight, I probably should have done this while I was on break, but
That's a fair point, but also you were having a break as well.
Yep.
that's true.
Break time
Also,
isn't
we
work
have plus
time.
31 with Lord Scarlet. That's amazing.
What was that?
I said we have plus 31 status with Lord Scarlet on the sheet and the crew sheet, and it's amazing.
Whoop.
he is DTF.
Who knows?
Oh,
Maybe
no.
he already has.
Alias is running there right now. Midnight booty call.
Oh, maybe that's why he was why he's been so good to the cult. It's all Alias.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Alias' actual name? Because like Alias and Alias.
No. Alias
Yes.
is in fact an alias.
Yeah, my alias is Alias,
of
but my
course.
actual name is Elias.
That does not surprise me.
The name is Elias Shaw, or as people like to call me, Alias.
This pleases me.
That's why I've written under the alias column. Yes, that's it.
If someone mispronounces your name, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so first thing to work out is we need to work out heat. So payoff. You're handed a bag of coins, a large bag of money. Let's call that 1 coin each. No wait, that's a bitch. Let's call that 2 coin each.
Okay.
So you just mark that on your
Okay.
character sheets.
Cool.
Nice bag of silver. Okay, so after the and after that there's heat.
Is there somewhere to mark coin on this?
Top right.
Oh, yep, I see it. Thank you.
Out of curiosity, does our crew get any coin as well, or just the person?
I think the excess is trans. Actually, no, I'm not. Wait. I'm not sure if the crew gets coins separately or what. Oh, here we are. Payoff. After a score, the PCs take stock of their income from the operation. A successful store generates both rep and coin. The crew earns 2 rep per score per default. If the target of the score is higher tier, you take plus 1 rep per higher tier. Okay, so your target was the right. You're a tier 0 crew, and you pulled off a operation against what was
Tier 5.
technically, tier 5, the Leviathan Hunters. So yep, that's quite an impressive score actually.
Yes.
Even if you only stole a loaf of bread.
That was an important loaf of bread.
Okay, so that's 2 rep plus 1 rep per tier higher, so that's plus 5.
Alright.
So you get that's 7 rep.
Nice, 7 rep, I'll take that.
Wow. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Literally, Keith says, literally the most audacious target you could choose in Duskwall. Well, I am nothing if not audacious, darling.
Yeah, although as it turns out, if we sort of pursue this over a campaign, there's a reason someone pointed you at them, so don't be too happy about it.
I'll continue to be happy about it anyway.
Okay, if you keep the operation completely quiet so no one knows about it, you have 0 rep, but yeah, I think they noticed the bread's missing. And some very suspicious waiters. Okay, so the crew earns coin based on the nature of the operation and any loot they seized.
Well, the bread has gone to feed.
You know what? We'll call the bread an extra source of coin. It's very good bread, so you can probably sell it off to someone.
I have eaten it.
Oh, you have granted the bread, okay?
But that does mean that is less coin spent on food.
On me. On food.
Okay, so let's just call it a small job equal to a strong box worth of worth of money. Okay, so record the coin on the crew sheet, or divvy it up amongst the crew members as you see fit.
Oh.
So that's 4. Okay. Oh, so that's 4 coin. Any of you want to keep any of it?
We could
Or
have
do you want
one
to keep it
coin
in the
each and
crew's
one in the
coffers?
crew, maybe?
Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's 1 extra coin. And that, yep, if you just all mark 1 point each on your sheets then.
Right, so 3 total, or...
Yes, sorry, just 1 total, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Most districts have crime bosses, but who might extort a tea from you, but we'll assume because you're basically doing this for someone was just paying you on the sly to do this for the reputation, we'll let that one slide. Yeah. Oh, interesting fact, it actually says in the guidebook never to have a situation like you'd guess in Shadowrun where you're cheated out of payment or something, because that's just boring.
That makes sense. That's giving me ideas.
Okay, now on to the less fun part, heat. Duskwall is a city of prying eyes and informants, both living and ghostly. Anything you do might be witnessed, and there's always evidence left behind, although thankfully not a set of clothes.
Yeah. We've at least dealt with some of the evidence, but yeah, there were definitely witnesses.
Yeah. To reflect this, your crew acquires heat as they commit crimes. After a score or conflict with an opponent, your crew takes heat according to the nature of the operation. Okay, smooth and quiet, low exposure. Or contained standard exposure. Yeah, let's call that smooth and quiet. You didn't really cause a ruckus, even if they realise something's up. And it was only a centerpiece, so it's not like they're going to chase to the end of the earth for it.
I mean, we did poison the punch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that was just sleepy.
Yeah, but there
Well,
were people
anyone could-
rushing there. The police were called immediately as we were on our way out.
Anyone could have
That
spiked
was
the
a
punch.
distraction
That's
to
true.
guarantee or escape.
To be
That's true.
fair, anyone could have spiked the punch.
Yeah, good point, good point.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave the base at 0. +1 heat for a high profile or well-connected targets. Yep, definitely a high-profile target.
Yeah.
+1 if it happened on hostile turf. Alright, the docs has special rules for what counts as hostile. Well, each place has different rules for what counts as hostile. But you didn't target any of the ships, so you're fine there. +1 heat if you're at war with another faction. Nope. +2 heat if you killed anyone. You didn't.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so that's just +1 heat then. I'll mark that on your. Yeah, actually. Oh, you know what? Make it 2 heat. No, wait. Nah. We'll stick with 2 heat. So,
Where did the 2 come
yeah. Just 1 heat, sorry. 1 heat.
Okay.
Okay. So obviously, if the heat bar maxes out, you get a 1 level, which is basically a version of it. And it just means, well, not only will you get heat much quicker, but it's harder to stay, yeah. Basically, it works like GTA, so the higher your wanted level, the police are going to respond.
Okay.
So at
Okay.
for wanted level, we will get tags. Gotcha.
Yes, exactly. And the only way to reduce your go to jail and
Who's the
confess
poor
all your crimes, as someone apparently did for you while you were being interrogated.
Mm.
Well, rip them.
Yep. Although the Bluecoats might still arrest you anywhere if they feel like it. Okay, next part. Entanglement. Okay, I'm just going to generate an entanglement for you, and this is just something that happened because you drew a bit of a ruckus.
Okay.
So, roll a number of dice equal to your wanted level.
That's none.
Yep, so that's heat 0 to 3. Okay, yeah, that basically means 0 dice, so you'll roll. That's basically roll 2 and take the lowest result. In this case, of course, rolling lower is better. Okay, so that's. Oh, it's a good thing you're getting a lower because that's a 4 and a 6. So that is rivals or an unquiet dead.
Mm.
I didn't kill anyone.
Okay.
I did carry a coffin. The bread is very loud.
Yes. Okay. So, a neutral faction throws their weight around. Who would a neutral faction be for you?
It's the bloody police again, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Let's go with the blue coats again. So the two officers from before wander by and start harassing you again. It seems the large one is actually spawning for a fight, and the other one's looking for some easy money. Okay. You can either forfeit 1 rep or 1 coin, or stand up to them and lose 1 status. And that's with the blue coats.
I think you can afford 1 rep.
This is 1 rep per tier. What tier is the
Yeah,
blue coats?
The blue coats are tier 3.
Oh.
Oh. We can afford the coin.
We could afford the rep, actually. Didn't we gain like 7? Or
We
something?
did, yeah.
Oh yeah, you did get 7 rep because you basically took on the Leviathan Hunters.
Or we can stand up to them.
I don't know if I want to.
If you stand up to them,
on the
you'll
bad
lose
side
1.
of the law.
You're already on the bad side of the law. This is actually more like annoying, actually having the law irritated with you. So at -1 rep, they'll be interfering, which means they won't go out of their way to bother you. But if they see a chance, they'll take it.
Yeah, I'd rather be able to just continue our, on our way when it comes to walking around the streets at the night without being too harassed by the blues.
Alright, I'm with you on that. I feel like Alias would probably spend their rep to...
Okay.
Like, that's pretty much Alias. Gaining benefits by making an idiot out of themselves.
Okay. Okay, you let the blue coats give you the a major diss. Yeah, they challenge you to a rap battle and win handily. All the other crews are laughing at you.
Oh no. I never learned to rap. Apparently, just chanting or
Apparently,
Yeah.
Does not
referencing
count as a
Daddy's
rap.
money doesn't win in a rap battle. Just
Yeah.
going, don't you know who I am?
Oh, you know what? The Knuckle takes a swing at Alias as well. Do you want to take harm for a bloody nose, or do you want to resist him?
I'll resist it.
Okay, that's with prowess. So you've got 2 dots in finesse. So that's 6 stress. Oh yeah. So to resist it, you'll take stress. Do you want to risk it?
How much stress is it? So it's 6 minus what I roll.
It's 6 minus the 6 minus the result of your roll.
How many dice do I? Is it just 1 for resisting? It's not like
you're resisting with prowess, and that's basically equal to your highest amount of dots. So that's with 2 dice.
2 dice.
I thought the resistance was how many dots you had in the first row.
No, you resist with the ability scores, which are basically the categories above the skills.
Yeah, but it's I was pretty sure that was the one where you wanted to have as large a selection as possible. So that's resistance and armor should be the rules for that.
Oh, I don't get to choose. I think.
Oh, resist is how many different skills you have in the column. I thought it was your highest amount of dots.
No, I knew I saw that somewhere. I just couldn't find it at the moment.
So I've only got 1 prowess. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's roll that one dice.
Okay, so you resist
having
that.
1 trauma
So,
gives you experience bonuses.
yeah, it does give you a reason to. It just give you another way to get XP. Okay, so you roll for the punch, and don't take any injury. But by God, that was stressful.
Yeah.
Roll to see how much stress you take.
Give me a high number. Come on, give me a high number. Oh, it's a 6.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. Oh my God.
What's with our luck in just a single 6?
Yeah, we should never be using any of our real good abilities. Just ones we've got 1 pip in only, apparently.
Okay.
I am actually potentially disappointed. I was kind of hoping to get a trauma, as I thought that would make the character even more interesting. But
You still have an opportunity, maybe.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, shame you weren't rolling more than 1 dice, because if you got a crit, you'd actually lose stress.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Okay. Okay, that's the engagement sorted then. And I've lost my place again.
That happens.
I'm assuming that punch just went whomp and just stopped there against my cheekbones. I'm just slightly too high on opium to just feel it at all.
Yeah.
Just like...
Basically, your constant burst him just threw him off guard, so he sort of pulled his punches like, boom.
Just as he was about to, I just went, hit me, daddy.
Yeah. You know what? It's not actually in the rules, but I'll let you have a point of rep back for it.
Yay!
For taking a punch like a champ.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that worked. I really am.
Hey, you hear that posh?
Alias was just standing there
You're a
with his
cop.
punch that didn't notice.
Erie took a swing from the copper and turned his fingers to metal. Alright.
I've gained critical bread armor from eating all of that bread.
Alias has his daddy's cheekbones.
I do. I do. That's a point. They're very prominent cheekbones, and they're clearly very strong.
Okay. Here we are. Sorry about that. Okay, heat's done. No one's been incarcerated. Entanglement sorted out. Okay, we're up to the good part then. Downtime activities. So, everyone gets 2 downtime activities. Oh, right, sorry, we nearly forgot XP.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna ask. I was like, how do you get XP?
Okay, payoff.
You get trauma? Is that real life or?
That's how it works in real life, yes. Experience trauma.
Yeah.
In some ways, actually,
Yep.
that's how it works in here as well. If you've got trauma, you do get more XP if you act on it.
Yeah, Keith did literally pointed out, like, take one trauma.
That was partly why I was doing this. I thought maybe if I get some trauma, I'll get some more XP. It'll be lovely. But also very funny to me if I become like paranoid or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you have to roll
Basically,
what to take,
yeah.
or you just choose?
No, basically, for each trait you can get XP for, you get 1 XP if you do it once, 2 XP if you've done it multiple times. Okay, so I literally can't find the rules for XP.
It does say on our sheets a little guide.
Oh, yeah.
An XP.
Oh yeah, it does. It does list. Okay, so we'll start with those then. Okay, Lavish.
Yes.
So, would you say you've addressed any challenges with tracking or violence?
Tracking or what? Sorry.
Violence.
I definitely tried twice with Hunt.
Yeah. Let's call that 1 XP for that then. Okay, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background? Basically, yeah.
Well, I let him eat the bread because I thought it was weird and fascinating.
That's more of a vice. We'll get to that next. Okay. No XP, but did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas? Yep, you let Alias eat the bread. So, yep, have a point of XP for that. Okay. Alias. Did you address a challenge with deception or influence?
At least twice. Like, that's
Yep,
pretty much my entire playbook. Was all the way through was I'm going to use deception or influence.
Okay, yep, that's 2 XP for that. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I did express my noble background a fair bit, I think. Like, especially as the son of a rich hunter, and yeah, things like that. Not, I suppose I used the nobility to command the servants around a little bit. Maybe only once though. I don't think I did it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, let's call that 1 XP for that. And did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I ate a lot of bread.
Yes, you did.
A
Have an
lot
XP for
of
that.
bread.
You have eaten your way to that XP. Okay, and Archelos. Archelos. Did you address a challenge with calculation or conspiracy?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll call that 2 XP. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
To an extent, surely.
Yeah, but I'd say you expressed it just as much as Alias did, so have an XP for that.
I would say probably Andrus expressed it way more than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually,
Constantly
make that
making
too.
deals and trying to
yeah.
have chats as an old man
Yeah.
and going for. I thought that was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say trying to make a ghost contract with the mission giver. Yeah, let's make that 2 XP for that then. And did you struggle with issues from your bias or traumas?
Not particularly. I did express my faith, but I did not struggle with it.
Yeah, well, you expressed your faith. Yeah, you can have 1 XP for that.
So, was that due from calculation and conspiracy as well?
Yep, that's 2, 2, and a 1.
Okay, so 5 experience. Nice. Thank you.
So where can we put that?
Okay, that's in the top right of your playbook.
You choose where you put that. You can either put it into
Oh, right,
Soul, Prowess, Insight, or your playbook experience.
Yeah, basically, if you max out your playbook XP bar, you get an extra a special ability. If you max out one of your abilities, you get an extra dot to put in something.
Oh hell! In that case, I'm moving these.
Yeah, you can put those in whichever one you can allocate those where you want.
Ooh,
I'm
that's
just.
actually a really good point there.
I'm flushing all of it into resolve. I'm gonna get extremely good at bossing people around and stuff.
Okay, so that's XP sorted.
I might put 1 into prowess as well because I feel like
All
being
right.
a prowl would be good.
Of course, we need to level up the cult as well.
Yes.
Would you say you've advanced the agenda of your deity, or its precepts in your actions?
Oh yeah, we were chanting all the time. We chanted. We did a lot of orb chanting towards the end.
Okay, I'll give you 2 XP for that.
We did have our followers help too. Does that count?
Yeah, that'll do. 10 with challenges above your current station.
I do believe we did.
Yeah, well, it was only stealing bread, so I'll give you 1 XP for that.
It
We
was still
also
the
dealt
highest
with,
tier
the
target.
blue coats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did fight with the police, so yep, I'll give you 2. Bolster your accused reputation or develop a new... Absolutely.
Oh, you cut out a
Number
bit there. What was
2.
that last one?
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one.
Oh.
We are still known as very strange, so yes.
You're known as a bunch of weirdos. You're still known as a bunch of weirdos, but now you're a bunch of weirdos who stole bread from the one of the most powerful people in the city. So
Yeah.
so now no one's going to mess with you. Spoiler alert, everyone's going to mess with them.
Yep.
Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
I don't know if we did that one so much.
We did
Yeah.
express the essential nature of the crew a little bit.
Money.
Yeah. Yeah, but let's call that 1 XP, so 1 more XP and your cult levels up.
Nice. Please the orb.
Into cult
Upon
pack.
leveling up, do we just get the special ability or some upgrades? as well?
Yeah, basically you get I think you get a new special ability, and your tier goes up. Actually, no, reps translated differently. But yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, so downtime then. So in downtime, you can you get 2 downtime activities each. You can use whatever way you want, or you can also spend 1 coin or rep to get an extra activity. But by default, you get those 2 activities.
So,
What you can do is you can acquire an asset, which is like just something you can use on a job. So like an extra cohort, a vehicle, some sort of service, a special item or some common items. And you can just roll for that. Start a long-term project, which is something like researching something or building something or something of that nature. Basically just something that'll take a long time. Or you can recover your stress which I'm sure some of you might want to do.
Mm.
Can we heal?
Yeah, that's basically what recovering stress is.
Okay.
But I think there's a specific recover.
Oh yeah, if you've taken a trauma, you can heal from that. Well, not trauma, harm.
Wound.
Yeah, if you've taken harm, you can heal from that separately.
And Lavish has.
Oh yeah, Lavish took
Sprained an ankle.
sprained an ankle while trying to sneak up.
Mm.
Okay, so okay, so to recover, which I'm going to assume you want to do. When you recover, you seek treatment and heal your harm. You might visit a physica. You can stitch your wounds and soothe your mind with it. Yeah, since it's just a sprained ankle, I'm going to say you don't need to do anything particularly special for it.
Okay. So
So-
take one activity or whatever?
So when you fill in it, right, what you need to do is, you either on the crew we actually have a leech who has the physical special ability, so she can act as the doctor. Bear couldn't make it tonight, but we can just assume she's treating you. So that means you need to roll with her tinker.
Way.
Can I help with
Okay.
my tinker?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so roll me 2d6.
Six and a 3.
Okay, so that's 6. So fill 3 segments on the healing clock. So that's it says where it says healing. There's a 4-segment clock, which is just a circle divided into 4. So just take 3 segments on that.
Okay.
Okay, and when that fills in, any trauma any harm you've suffered will be reduced 1 level, so that'll get rid of your sprained ankle. But for now, you're still stuck with it. So that'll make you less effective if you do something that involves running or something else that you'll get in the way of. Unfortunately, unless you want to. And do you want to recover any stress?
Yes.
Or you could just roll you could roll for recovery as well again.
Recovery.
Okay, roll me another 2d6 then.
5.
Okay, that's Mark 2. That's 2 segments, so you're fully healed then. You can remove that
Yay!
harm. How much stress do you have, by the way?
I have survivor, so I'm at technically 7, but I don't know how to add another box.
All right.
So I just put 6.
Yeah, that works. Okay. Or do you want to change that and relieve stress instead of the second healing roll?
Sure.
You sure about that? So, wait, would you rather ignore the healing roll or...
Oh, I want the healing roll. I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
what's the best thing to know.
Okay, well, you'll just have to deal with that stress then.
You're stressing me out about the stress.
Trauma. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Okay, that's your 2 downtime activities, unless you want to spend any coin.
Could I spend coin to get a vehicle or something?
Okay, so Okay, so acquire asset, that's a temporary use of an asset, so it's not something you'll have permanently.
Oh. Okay. I'll just leave it be.
Okay. Okay, so next Alias, what do you want to do in your downtime?
I
Do
am
you-
going to train Progress. Oh,
Interesting, you've changed your name.
That's yeah. I heard an A and I was like, yes.
Now that I've looked at the possible downtime activities, do you mind if I reallocate the 1 XP that I put into prowess into resolve?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I wasn't aware of what it was before. So the first thing I'd like to do is train.
Okay.
And as we are a cult, we have extra training in resolve. So I gain 2 experience points, filling up my resolve bar and giving 1 extra point to put in there.
Okay, that's good. Hey,
Which-
where are you going to put your...
I'm
where are you going
thinking
to put your dots?
consort, because I do that a lot. Just schmaltzing with people.
Okay. You may do that, I think.
So that means I now have 3 dots in consort. Which means I'm just going to be rolling even more ones. And the second part, I think we all know, is indulge vice.
Okay. So, indulge vice. You visit your vice purveyor to relieve stress. So, who's your vice purveyor again?
That would be Maestro Helleron at the theatre.
Of course. So, when you indulge your vice, you clear some stress. Okay, so you need to roll your weakest quality, which is...
Insight, I suppose. Which is
Okay.
0.
So, making a tribute roll. Okay, so because you've got 0 dots in insight, you're going to have to
2 and take the
roll
lowest
2
again?
2 and take
Yeah.
the lowest,
Okay.
and you deduct that amount from your stress bar.
Here's hoping. 1. There we go. All that luck is gone now. 1. I did not have a good time at the theatre. There was a play on that did not reduce my stress. It was something called Les Miserables, and the plot lines felt very, very, very stressful to me personally.
Okay, yes, Miss Les Miserables is a canon to this campaign, which would also imply that Franco's France, somehow.
Francis canon.
Unfortunately, he had the sunken into the Dead Sea.
But that's me. I don't think I'm going to spend to do any more actions in downtime.
Okay. Okay, so Arkelos.
Yes, no, that's my name, not Alias. That's my name, yes. I'm going to take one of my downtime activities to train prowess.
Okay.
And the second one to train resolve.
Okay, so mark 2 XP. Wait, 2 XP in resolve and 1 in
for
prowess. Yes.
Which I will immediately use to level up skirmish.
Okay, add your extra dot.
So now I have 3 3 dice for resisting physical harm.
Righty.
That's my downtime.
Okay, that's everyone's downtime. I guess that's it.
No one has trauma, so no one gets stressed from ignoring their vice.
Yep.
What else is coin good for?
Money, dear boy.
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
but
You can use it to do an
Yeah.
extra downtime activity, or if you rolled on a downtime activity, you can increase what tier of your roll it was. So if you got like 1 to
Yeah.
3, you could make it a 4 to 5 for 1 coin. Or yeah, Keith says you put it into
Ooh.
retirement.
Yeah, basically,
could I have used that on my first healing roll? Or
I don't think you can spend coin on covering.
Healing. I think you can.
I mean, it's cool if not, but...
Can't see anything in the SRD that would suggest otherwise, but I haven't got the full info.
I know the sample on the downtime activities does mention spending 1 coin to improve the result to a critical.
Yeah, basically, if your character gets 4 traumas, basically they have to be retired, and the life they retire to depends on the amount of coin you've got in your stash.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so basically your stash is where the excess coin goes. If you have more than the 4 coin you can carry on your person.
Oh.
Oh.
So there is
And
there is advantage in hoarding.
Yeah, but if you want to take coin out of your stash, basically your stash is like assets and stuff. So you have to basically sell a bunch of stuff, and you only get 1 coin per 2 coin you take out of your stash.
Okay.
Yeah, and coin also works like if you spent money on something. So like if you bribed someone or got robbed. So like if you get taken by the blue coats and you want to bribe them to get away, you have to spend 1 coin to bribe them, that sort of thing.
Could I use a coin to reduce my stress then?
You could use it to gain an extra activity, which might
Extra activity to reduce my stress.
Yes,
in
you can
fairness,
certainly
you
do
could
that.
have also used it to make the first roll a critical, if it was a 6. So that would have healed you up in 1. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can certainly spend a coin for another downtime activity. Indulge ice.
So, what do I do to reduce stress?
Okay, so you need to roll with your lowest attribute, which I believe is prowess or resolve.
I actually have 2 points in prowess and resolve. So, I got 2 in skirmish and 2 in sway. Does that affect anything, or?
Yeah, here we are. Tribute rating. 3 attributes. Each attribute has a rating from 0 to 4 that tells you how many dice to roll when you use it. The rating to the attribute is equal to the number of dots in the first column under that attribute. Oh, I guess it. So, yep, that's, yeah, roll me 1d to reduce stress.
4.
Okay, so that's 4 stress off.
How many stress did you have?
I had 7 technically,
cute.
but I have an extra stress box, so...
Well, no, it was just... I remember when I was reading the stress release bit, that if you release too much, you're overindulging in your vice and you get consequences. So I was just worried 4 might have pushed it over or something, but that's fine.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have come up because everyone's either got too high a stress rate.
Yeah. We all took proper risks, like proper adventurers.